All right, guys, so there are several factors that I want to talk about which will affect the earnings report that's coming out. And that's namely the differences between Q1, what happened this year, versus Q1 of last year. So, one major thing that's really happened that's very different was last year, during Chinese New Year, they made battery swapping completely free during the Chinese New Year period. So both electricity fee was free and service fee was free. So that just means that, first of all, NIO's not getting the revenue from this massive surge in the battery swaps, okay? And this is, of course, not including NIO owners like me that have unlimited free swap, but other NIO owners also get basically free swap during this period of time. This was last year, all right, 2023 Q1. And that just means, of course, higher expenses for NIO, all right, massive expenses, but also that part which should have been revenue, that's not there. Okay, so NIO's forking out that money, but this year they've changed it. All right, they've changed it so that during Chinese New Year, it's only the highway swap stations that get the service fee that's free. The electricity fee is not free, and even NIO CEO said it himself that before it was a very big burden. So this definitely is going to show up and really help out with the earnings report that's going to come out very soon, because you're getting the extra revenue from these battery swaps. And if it's not on the highway swap station, NIO gets both service fee and electricity revenue. And if it's on the highways, then NIO only gets the electricity revenue. Whereas last year, during this period of time, during Chinese New Year, NIO was getting nothing. All right, so this is one big change. And then also did some calculation. I went through some of the old posts about swap station deployment. So I compared, this is sort of like an in-depth investigation into CapEx. So this year in Q1, NIO deployed 81 swap stations and 153 charging stations. So I basically did the math, subtracting the difference between their infrastructure number at the beginning of January and at the end of March. So that's how I got that number. Well, apparently last year they actually deployed a little bit less infrastructure. Last year, during that period of time, Q1, they deployed 37 swap stations and 170 charging stations. So a little bit more charging stations, but less swap stations because they were waiting for the Gen 3 swap stations to deploy those. Now, back then, NIO was still aggressively expanding on a lot of the stores as well. All right, NIO was expanding a lot of the stores as well. And now NIO's still expanding stores, but they're not going at it at such an aggressive pace, and they're not really reporting these numbers. Also, in the last earnings report, NIO CEO said that CapEx is going to be, the CFO said that CapEx is going to be reduced going forward because the research and everything that they've done for sub-brand 1 and sub-brand 2 is pretty much already finished. So that means that going forward, we can expect lower R&D, which is definitely going to help boost earnings per share, perhaps. Also, battery upgrades, temporary battery upgrades. NIO's got like 20,000 of those during just a short Chinese New Year interval. Of course, battery upgrades have really been pushed forward during this time, and NIO's earning quite a lot of money from these battery upgrades as well. Okay, so this is something that's also more than Q1 of last year. And then what's also changed is this year they've added several other services that have been really hot, and people have been choosing it a lot. So designated driver, which is really going to boost the other revenues, and then also portable car wash, which they launched in about summer of last year. And so that's basically anywhere, almost every city has it except Beijing, which I don't know why they don't have it here. But you just one click of a button and somebody will come here and then wash your car, and it's one of NIO's service, and they have this in a lot of other cities. So they're definitely earning a lot from the service revenue perspective. And then also they recently changed the insurance policy, the insurance plan, so that the insurance plan is also going to be earning money for them, whereas before it was a big loss leader as well. So they did make a lot of changes, all right? And also this year, Q1, they did the job cuts last year in about December, or was it November, if I remember correctly. So that's also going to really show an impact. It's going to be lower SG&A costs for Q1. So that's also a nice welcome. And then, of course, we got the big the big elephant in the room, which is definitely the 4.7 deal. The 4.7 technology licensing deal. Is that really going to show us what kind of profit? Is that going to really, how much money is NIO getting from that technology license deal? Lump sum payment. How much is that lump sum payment? Is it 100 million, 200 million? Because we saw the same deal or a similar deal that Exxon had with Volkswagen, all right? And they got a huge boost in their Q1 numbers, all right? They got a huge boost in the Q1 earnings report. So, I mean, we could also see something similar happening. Exxon got like a billion RMB, which is like roughly almost 200 million US dollars from Volkswagen for their technology licensing. I'm expecting something similar, 100 million-ish from 4.7. So NIO did do a lot of adjustments to make sure that they're not wasting money, to make sure that they're everything that they're doing adds to their balance sheet. This was one of their big focuses last year during around Q3, Q4. So hopefully that really takes effect and really helps out with the Q1 numbers. And I do really expect Q1 earnings to be a beat. Also, something that's very interesting was during one of the recent videos of NIO CEO with Xiaomi CEO, they were discussing battery swap, how they should add battery swap. And NIO CEO said that adding battery swap to your car only increases the cost of production by a couple thousand RMB. So this just really does show that NIO is definitely going to earn some money from these partnerships. The question is NIO going to get a lump sum payment from all these partners that they've signed on, all right, with these other guys? Because we know for a fact that NIO is giving the Envoy battery pack to these other guys, and they're making cars, and they've already made a lot of progress doing R&D work on it to design the car around that battery pack. And what's very apparent from our live stream on Thursday was the fact that when Iran talked to Dr. Shinfei, head of NIO Power, asked about when we'll see these swappable cars that can go swap at NIO swap stations from non-NIO brands. I also asked the same question, 1.5 years, and he said that Dr. Shinfei is really going to focus on this as their number one priority going forward. So there is progress being made in that aspect, but are they going to get some payment, some money from them? That's also very interesting to think about, all right? I think they should be, all right? I think they should be. They should be getting some money from them. The question is, will this also show up on the earnings report with all these partners joining in, and how much, all right? Because if all these partners are giving NIO like maybe 100 million or maybe something around that, that's going to change everything, man. You got like 7 partners, and these guys giving 100 million to use NIO's battery swap technology. Yeah, that's going to add up. That's going to make NIO all of a sudden profitable, man. What the hell? And I mean, like, how is that going to shock everybody if that's the case? So I don't think anybody's expecting that to happen. But 4.7 is for sure lump sum payment. Maybe for the other battery swap partners, we'll see what happens. We'll have to see. So earnings, I'm expecting great results. All right, they've reduced on cash burn. They're earning revenue when they weren't last year, and they got other sources of revenue. Very nice. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.